Build a scrape network that bucks will return to for months. Now, that's something I heard from Jeff Sturgis and some other guys. And honestly, I never really understood what it meant until we started implementing mock scrapes in our property. And now I'm starting to see why they talk about it so much. If you're not using mock scrapes, now's the time to start. And today we're just going to be discussing what is a mock scrape, why you should start using mock scrapes. And there's another concept or tool that kind of goes with mock scrapes. And if you don't pair mock scrapes with this, they're pretty much ineffective. So we'll get back to that later in the video. But first, let's back up. What is a mock scrape? Now, I used to think mock scrapes were just a rut trick that were only useful during that limited time period. But Steve Bartilla and Dan Infalt refer to them as communication hubs. And that changed my perspective on them because now I realize that they're not only used for doing the rut, but I actually found out through some research that bucks will start using mock scrapes all the way from midsummer through the whole hunting season. Now into the next point, why should you hunt mock scrapes? First of all, they're a great attraction to hunt. They do draw in deer for communication purposes like we talked about before. But you can also collect a lot of data from the trail cams that are on your mock scrapes, such as the direction they're coming from, what deer are there, how many deer are coming to the mock scrape, and things like that. And if you hunt small pressure land like us, you need all the edge you can get. And mock scrapes are a great way for getting intel about your deer without blowing your spot or spooking them away. All right, now let's talk about where should you put the mock scrapes. But here's the thing. Mock scrapes only started working when we figured out where to put them. And that's where we learned about pinch points. So you can think of a pinch point, to give a visual, is basically a hallway in between two rooms. So you have two attractions. You either have bedding or food or whatever the two attractions are. It's that trail that's running in between, or that travel corridor that the deer are using that's in between those two attractions. So now we don't just drop mock scrapes anywhere on our property or on the edge of food plots or wherever. We put them strategically on these pinch points or funnels. So where deer, if they're traveling on this travel corridor in between these two attractions, are inevitably going to hit that mock scrape. Now you don't need a bunch of acres or gear in order to do mock scrapes, and find the direction that majority of the deer are moving between two attractions and clear out one or a few of those trails and put that mock scrape in between it, somewhere in between those two attractions in those trails. But also clear out the trails if you can. Make it to where at least one person can go down the whole trail without having anything in the way. And that will cause the deer to want to walk down those trails because it's the path of least resistance. And that's where they're looking for. Now, if you want to know how to strategically use your food plot to manipulate deer movement and bring them closer to stand when you're hunting on your food plots, go check out this video where we break that down.